This is just the final turn on protecting the reserve, helping nature out like we used to back in the day.
Indigenous communities are in a race to protect themselves. They're bringing back a tradition that was banned for decades.
We have to learn from our mistakes. Now we have to correct them.
We got ticket 4-pack. I'm gonna need some more burners here, you guys.
We've been invited to the Bridge River Indian Band, or Hoiston, about 300 kilometers north of Vancouver, where a big plan is unfolding. A diverse team of band members and provincial firefighters is gathering for something unusual. They're not going to stop a fire, they're going to start one with what's called a cultural burn or prescribed burn.
Safety is the #1 thing for today.
The threat of wildfire is always here and growing. Just last year, the community had to evacuate.
So let's help each other out here. Let's get this done here so we can go to another community and keep doing this all around Lillooet so that when fire does come around, we don't have to worry about this kind of stuff anymore. Because frankly, last year I got kicked out of this place twice.
Raymond James is leading this crew that will help keep the fire in check. It's not the first time they've done this, but today's burn will be the biggest and most complex.
How are you feeling about today?
Today's, not gonna lie, it's nervous.
Yeah.
So, big time thing here. Usually just doing a lot of small burns, nothing to this big content here. So this is just the final turn on protecting the reserve and helping nature out like we used to back in the day.
All right, David, here we go. Let's do this.
Today's conditions are perfect for a burn. The right temperature, winds, and humidity. The team will carefully manage fire on 151 hectares around the community, lighting it on the ground and from the air.
It's looking good in some places, and yeah, we're up to the road there, so we're going to continue on, heading to the south.
See the smoke popping up? Just faintly, that's a good sign.
Colleen Ross is a veteran wildland fire ecologist hired by Hoiston to help plan this early spring burn. They're using flames to clear the land of tinder, fuel for wildfires.
How's it going so far in the day now that we're going?
Yeah, it looks really good. You can tell by the smoke. It's getting up and over the mountains, and it'll drift off to where the communities aren't.
Getting to this point was no small feat, a complicated process of preparation and collaboration with many partners, including fire departments and the BC government.
We started planning this time last year, actually.
So it's a year of planning to get to the stage where we're lighting
That's
the fire.
right. This is the hard stuff. We're ripping off the Band-Aid. We're like just taking off a huge chunk while we can and while we have the people.
It burned really nice in here. Holy cow.
Midway through the burn, we're taken to see a swath of forest the fire has already blackened. Burn boss Bradley Jack is our guide. Hoiston has tried to do a burn here before, but that plan had to be aborted because the conditions weren't right.
It's been 5 years now since that burn plan, and it's been on the back burner.
There's a lot of coordination to pull this off.
Yes, there is. There's a lot of coordination. It takes time. Sometimes it takes 2 or 3 years to get a burn plan together, and then all the science and stuff like that.
This is more than just wildfire prevention. It's a reconnection with a cultural practice and expertise that was forbidden.
As settlers moved out west in the 1800s, British Columbia became the first province to ban this kind of cultural burning, and the knowledge was lost to First Nation communities. But in recent years, Bridge River Indian Band has brought it back, and now other communities are starting it too.
One of the things I learned from fire is it can be your friend and it can be your enemy.
At the nearby Ashcroft Indian Band, another community is learning to change its relationship with fire. Colleen Ross is here to help them on their journey. It's not an easy thing to do. 7 years ago, an out-of-control fire devastated the First Nation, scorching the landscape, burning homes, and leaving the community fearful and scarred.
Hey, I want one of those for my garden.
Those memories are still fresh for Sharp Hittman and her family. So, any fire here is scary, even a prescribed burn.
A fire can get out of control. But having said that, with all the people that are here today to control the fire, I guess I can live with it. Yeah, I'll be okay.
Climate change is becoming a bigger part of life here, where summer temperatures are often the hottest in Canada. Pittman says the community needs to evolve.
When you have catastrophes that happen, everybody learns something from it. And I think that's the big take, is we have to learn from our mistakes. Now we have to correct them. And this is a way of correcting it.
So who has never dug garden before? Yeah, okay, awesome.
This community is starting fresh on prescribed burning. Today, they're learning the basics, like how to dig a fire guard, stripping down the land to the soil to stop fire from spreading.
When we're handling drip torches, big thing is wearing sleeves down, obviously, leather gloves on.
Even starting a burn using these drip torches is new to everyone here, including local volunteer firefighters and 3 teens from the community. 19-year-old Darius Kirkpatrick is keen to protect his band's future.
I like this, like how we're doing it on the land, so we can learn from it and live longer without having that problem or having that worry. And I'm really happy to have like all of these new kids get into it. Yeah, it makes me feel proud.
Today's session is just a practice run, but a big step towards a larger goal. The band is planning a significant burn next year, and experts say other communities across Canada need to follow their example. This year, there are 61 prescribed or cultural burns planned in BC, which would treat 47 square kilometers of forest. To put that in context, look south to the U.S. state of New Jersey. It's more than 40 times smaller than BC, but last year the state treated 5 times as much land with prescribed burns.
So this is an area that had been mechanically thinned about 10 years ago, approximately.
Matthew Bourbonnais once fought fires for a living. Now an assistant professor at UBC's Kelowna campus, he studies how we can better prepare for them. He's taking us into this forest, not far from where a catastrophic fire destroyed close to 200 homes last August. He says prescribed burning could help stop it from happening again.
It's not something that we might do, it's something that we have to do. And we just haven't quite got there.
And you say we have to do it. Why do we have to do it?
So it's almost like, I don't want to say we're accepting the worst case scenario, but if we aren't moving more towards that proactive mitigation, we're just doing the same thing over and over and over again, and we're going to get the same outcomes.
We're kind of setting ourselves up for potential for disaster.
Yeah, pretty much. Fire suppression will always be a part of it. We're always going to need to respond to some fires. But if we can create landscapes that are more resilient to fire, then maybe the impacts of a lot of those fires aren't going to be the same.
Back in Hoyston, the flames are now right behind homes, but under the careful control of the team. The burn is clearing the forest floor of so much fire fuel, and it's still intense. As we walked into the woods to get these images, we got a little too close.
Awesome off.
Right on, thanks a bunch there, bro.
But Raymond James is pleased with the progress his crews have made.
At the end of the day, you've burned off all of this fire fuel really close to these people's homes.
Yes. So with that being said, it's better to do it now than have the summer weather, us out here at 50 degrees and trying to fight this fire when the flames are 4 times as high and the trees are all getting scorched. Better to do it now while we have control.
As evening approaches, fire has burned the land right around the community. Their homes now, hopefully, safer this summer, with plans to share what they've learned.
We want to start doing this for other communities as well. It's very important because, as you see, the fire's coming a lot sooner. Times have changed and the weather has too.
The government nearly ended this traditional use of fire, but it's slowly returning at a time when it's more important than ever. Brady Strachan, CBC News in Hoyston, British Columbia.